Okay, seriously, our phones are turning us into digital potheads.
How do you know?
I just watched a 10-minute video of a guy power washing a driveway.
Turning you into a digital pothead, or even worse. With that in mind, I'm going to bring in Kshanati.
Conference. And each year there's a different theme. The theme this year is the dispelling of fear. The idea this year is to bring some light towards that. And so we're really excited if you'll join us on Zoom, November 20th to the 24th, parasharaconference.com. And
I'll have the link.
yes,
The link in the video as well.
Perfect. Yes. So Sam, just thrilled that you're back and thrilled to be hanging out here with you today.
Yeah, same here. And you're really speaking my language. The thing that got me started in Vedic astrology and actually teaching 25 years ago was exactly what you're talking about. My students will tell you that I'm always like, nothing's good or bad. Get out of the good and bad thinking. And it doesn't mean that you paint a happy face on something that's serious, but you don't need to polarize anything around good and bad, right? Everything's simply what it is. So this dispelling of fear as an overriding principle of the conference is right in line with what I'm doing. And it plays into exactly what I'm going to be talking about. This headline that says, did you know your phone is turning you into a digital pothead, or even worse, except you get none of the benefits, is really what I'm going to be teaching on this digital detox. Because right now we act as though it's really normal for us to just have our attention span constantly fragmented by the phone and this and that. And it's not normal for our limbic system, for our brain. I started doing Vedic astrology in 2004, and I've watched, and that's full-time teaching, courses, certification, and I've watched steadily over the last 20 years or so where it's very hard for us to stay focused, and promotes fear and fear-based thinking. So I'm just going to read through this. This is part of an upcoming course I'm going to be doing, but it says this. Back in 2005, 20 years ago, Dr. Glenn Wilson at King's College London proved that just checking email and responding to digital alerts throughout the day dropped people's IQ by 10 points. That's more than smoking weed, which only drops your IQ by 4 points. Now, this was 2005. No smartphones, no social media, just email alerts. And remember what we used to call multitasking? When I'm working, multitasking back then was studied to drop your IQ 10 points while you're doing it. So it's like you're high. That's what it means. So when you're multitasking and checking 100 things, even in 2005, it's like you've just gotten high. That's how much attention span you have. Now look at what you're carrying in your pocket. A device 1,000 times more addictive than those email alerts, compressed into a 3x8 screen, designed to hijack your dopamine system every 3 to 5 seconds. They're designed that way. So your entire reality is framed into these small portions of 3x5 screens instead of the open sky. And you're looking at this all the time. And you're getting alerts all the time. And again, your attention is getting fragmented. As it says here, potheads at least get to chill out, but you get a fried attention span and the anxiety of dopamine withdrawal. So even if you were smoking pot, at least you can be relaxed and have the munchies and laugh at stupid movies. So how we got here, and no, it's not your fault, but we have to be aware.
Yeah.
So again, look, remember how cool it was. 30 years ago, we got the internet and computers and suddenly access to the sum of all human knowledge. It was incredible. We could learn anything, connect with anyone, discover amazing music, share beautiful moments with people we love. It was a revolution. And then we have, again, even in 2005, that study that I just talked about, where we started to notice that it's fragmenting our attention, so we have to be careful. But even back then, we were still using computers, big screens, we were sitting at desks. Now, smartphones, and suddenly all that incredible connectivity gets compressed into something like this. And now it's not just information, it's your friends, your family, your interests, your music, news, entertainment, all mixed into an endless, irresistible stream. And it's been engineered this way to make it addictive. It is an addiction machine. If you don't know it, it is. And it's not your fault, but it's important to just understand how this is different than it was even 10 years ago, 15 years ago. So they came with the algorithms, and marketers figured out they had 3 to 5 seconds to hook you before you scrolled away. So again, even just with the escalation of TikTok and the endless scrolling, every new advancement in social media is a new advancement and a new way to hijack your attention. We're no longer in the information age. We're in the disinformation age. I started talking about this several years ago. Actually, back when Rahu was going through Gemini is when I really noticed. These tools that started as ways to connect and learn are now being weaponized to turn us against each other. A C. Davis survey found that 50% of Americans believe civil war is coming. Civil war. And how did we get in this place, right? So again, it's important for astrology to address astrologers bringing fear through not understanding planetary concepts as well and whatnot. But one of the things that I've also noticed more than anything is I've been bringing that hopeful message for decades. But my clients are just so alarmed often. And again, astrology is remarkable at moving them away from that kind of thing. But just real quick, I've been warning my students about this problem my entire career. Again, those of you who have seen my work, this is right from my current certification course sales page, the Live Your True Nature certification course. And one of the things, confusion and the illusion of understanding. I've been talking about this. I've been calling it online snacking for a decade, more than that, since 2006. And that's before cell phones, TikTok, and where we're at now. I've been talking about this. I've watched it for decades.
Sam, it's just such beautiful, inspiring mission that you're on here with this work. I have clients that send me, this person tweeted this. What do you think about that? And it's all fear-based stuff. And everyone and their mom and their sister and their cousin are professional Vedic astrologers now. And what you find is there's
telling me.
Yeah, I mean, it's just my experience that there's this delusion going on, this dissolving of true years of devotion to this ancient science. If it weren't for technology, we wouldn't even have the Parashara conference. That's why this is so essential, because we need to clean up the mess of this over extremity of it all, and to allow people to truly understand, and that just because you have a social media platform doesn't make you an expert. There's just so many things behind what you're doing here that I'm behind it. And I'm just so happy you're bringing this topic.
And let me get into the specifics even of the course. This is a page from a course I'm going to be doing, which goes through and examines all of the astrological factors filtered through the lens of social media. And the reason I also had that section that I just talked about with how we got here is because there's a reason why we love this device. And there's nothing wrong with that. I don't want to shame people. It's nobody's fault. It started, remember how great it was and how great it still is and can be. There'd be no Parashara conference without this technology. It's a blessing. And the ancient Vedic rishis would have seen it as a blessing. They talked about time travel, time and space. We're time traveling right now, time and space. You're sitting there in Philadelphia. I'm sitting here in San Diego, yet we're sharing the same time and space. It's a virtual space, but this is miraculous, okay? But it's been engineered and hijacked. But let's get back to the point. It's a wake-up call, because this isn't just harmless anymore. When you're limited self and ego, you're the Atman, okay? You're not Kshanati and Sam. We are Atman. There's one Atman, and we're Jiva Atman through this form and this consciousness. And that Jiva Atman has the components of Jyotish in it. The sun, moon, Mars, Mercury are your divine qualities that lead back to the Paramatman. And you've incarnated with the karma, the samskaras of past lifetimes to awaken. So when your limited self and ego interacts with social media on your phone in these 5 to 10 second blips and blaps, it's not just distraction. You're not just distracted. There's a very specific karmic deficits that are being paid. Your fragmented attention is not just wasted time, but it's a karmic deficit. You're draining your energy. So your son's authentic power becomes online power tripping, ego comparison, endless striving by comparison to others. So again, we're not just going to talk about, gee, that phone is distracting me. How? Why? What is the karmic penalty? How are you interacting with these things? The moon's emotional contentment, which is your nature, gets undermined through false connection, endless emotional longing for connection, again, to false idealized online personas or carefully curated images. Oh, if I would just be that. And then you miss the contentment in the moment. Mars focused drive and discipline becomes keyboard warrior rage, misdirected battles, defending causes and people you don't even understand with strong, diluted, often hateful opinions. rather than fighting the right battles, which is to awaken consciousness, again, this civil war mentality, complete Mars derangement. And again, the good news is you are still the Atman, you are still all the divine power. You can change it, you can switch it, but if you don't know what it is, then you can't. Jupiter wisdom, this is one of the biggest ones. Fake influencers, pop psychology. Why are we listening to Joe Rogan about anything? He's just a meathead guy, for example. Okay, maybe it's entertaining, but why do we listen to people like that when we have great teachers? We have Yogananda, we have Sri Gurudev, we have Amma, we have the greatest teachings known to man at our fingertips. And yet we listen to these other people. You hear all this pop psychology memes, we fake influencers. Again, not that these are bad people, but it's just a corruption and fragmenting of Jupiter energy. Saturn energy, focus and commitment becomes fearful, unstable connections. And the creeping uncertainty of life passing you by, Saturn, is the big one, because we know we're wasting time. And we have all these ideas about things we have no control over. We have no control. We have no idea how this thing works. And again, Saturn wants structure, stability, commitment, and a sense of control over our immediate environment and our life. So again, just the endless restlessness and anxiety in people's minds. In the full course, I'm also teaching about the ascendant, each astrology sign, each astrology house. They're all responding differently to this online fragmentation. We're not just scrolling for pleasure anymore. You're scrolling just to feel normal and escape dopamine withdrawal. What this means is that what happens is, just like an addict, when your dopamine is depleted, and then we hit this thing, you're not doing it because you want to feel good. You're doing it just to feel normal, just to feel regulated. Like when we're separated from our phone, many times we don't even feel regulated anymore. And we have to feel regulated. We're just looking to not feel anxious. That's the deficit. So again, this is real stuff. So in my class here at the Parashara conference, I'm going to go over this digital defragmenting through Vedic astrology, not just the things I described here, but again, returning back to balancing these planetary energies. And again, I also have a course, which I'll be talking more about here. But so that's the overall thing I'm doing here.
Oh my God, bro. Just super pumped up for this one. It balances out everything with it being a virtual conference. This research that you're doing, it's really helpful, man. You're really providing seva and just helping people with their relationship with source, with their relationship with the God, truly understanding Jyotish through this lens of hyper concentration, disconnection to, what is real. So I'm just really excited, man.
Just last thing I forgot to say is that I just wanted to show this because it's a couple of images I put together, some bonus classes that are coming up that also just takes you through it. It's a digital dopamine hijack, like the dopamine is hijacked. And we're interacting just to try to feel normal. And it's not just harmless distraction. It's destroying our capacity to discriminate and karmically evolve. Awakening from the Maya within planetary distraction, dive into the differences between the distracted sun, the distracted moon. And then this is one of the biggest ones, the crisis of connection in the digital age. I think relationships have taken the biggest hit in this social media age, with fragmented mind, idealized shadow narcissism projected onto others. We're all experts in everything, listening to bad teachings, and again, returning to source. And source is the Jyotish energies, because all relationships are about masculine and feminine energy. Sun, Mars, Moon, Venus, and embodying those things. Thank you so much, Kshanati, for letting me sneak back in, and it'll be a great conference. Everyone sign up for it. I'll have the link below the video.
I'm just so excited that you're coming back this year. This is our 4th annual conference. You presented at every conference prior to this one, and so I was a little bummed at the idea of you not presenting this year. So the fact that you're back as surprise late entry, we're really excited about, and I love this mission behind what you're going to be presenting on, and I look forward to hearing more about it today, and of course in 3 weeks when we actually have this live conference. Parashara Conference is currently the world's largest international Jyotish conference.
Master classes, Yoga and Vedic Astrology, Quantum Vedic Astrology, and Spiritual Astrology Masterclass. These are 3 great courses that will really help you a lot. Now, in case you don't know who I am, I taught the Astraved certification course, Dattatreya Shiva Baba, in 2010. Ravi Shankar published my book in 2018. I've been around for decades. I've been teaching these great classes, and if you go to VedicAstrologyEssentials.com, you can get this 90% off discount of these 3 great classes, more than 10 hours, guaranteed value. You can check this out. These 3 classes will give you all the necessary tools to begin to learn Vedic astrology. Please find me on YouTube at Sam Jeppy, Vedic Astrology Teacher. On there since 2007, thousands of hours of classes. Also on Facebook at Astrology Teacher, tons of articles updated regularly, and I'm on Instagram at Vedic Astrology 108, ongoing updates and interaction.